It's time for the One Bar and Lupica Show, bringing you anything and everything Minnesota Vikings.
Welcome to professional football.
All right, welcome back to the One Bar and Lupica Show. I am One Bar. In today's episode, we're going to continue to break down some of these undrafted free agents the Vikings brought in. We've hit up most of them. I had to take a little break from the undrafted free agency scene because I was getting a little burnt out. But there's definitely some guys I still want to talk about. Today's episode, we are talking about defensive tackle from Boise State, David Moa. Before we get into him, remember, subscribe to the channel, like the video. It is Saturday. It is almost time to start cracking beers, but we're going to whip out David Moa first. And to be completely honest, I just ripped this one out, and I'm doing it over because I forgot a very, very key fact about David Moa. And it's not going to be worth it, the fact that I'm doing this video over, but I'm doing it anyways. And here it is. David Moa's nickname is the Moa Constructor. Boom. If that doesn't get you to love this guy, nothing will. The freaking Moa Constructor. Love it. All right. That's why I'm redoing it. So who is David Moa? David Moa, he played 6 years at Boise. He had an Achilles injury 2018, so he came back for 2019. So he's been around. Let's just put it that way. He has played pretty much all along the Boise State defensive line. His main home is defensive tackle. He will be looked at as a 3-technique defensive tackle for the Vikings. He had some interest leading up to the draft. I see teams like the Saints, the Steelers were pretty interested in bringing him in right after the draft. So he was looked at as an undrafted free agent, pretty much best case scenario, late 7th round guy. But his sophomore year, he put up 8.5 sacks, really started to open some eyeballs to scouts. And then in his junior year, 2 sacks or so, just kind of dipped a little bit. And then 2018, he had that Achilles injury, and then he comes back for 2019. The hope for Moa was 2019, he was going to show kind of some of that stuff he had as a sophomore. At least in the stat line, it didn't really show. I think he had 1 sack, 6.5 tackles for a loss. I could be off by 1 or 2 there. But just watching him play, I watched some of his tape, and, he's gritty. He looks like he's got some power. I don't know if I mentioned it yet. I think he's 6'3", 290. He's a little he can get in the backfield, and I like the way he uses his hands. So his issue is he's going to come into a very, very thick defensive tackle for the Vikings. Thick, not as stacked, but just there's a lot of guys there. We brought in James Butler in the 4th round. We got familiar names. I mean, obviously we got Pierce, we got Shamar Stephen, we got Jalen Holmes, Jaleel Johnson, Armand Watts, Hercules. So he's got quite the ways to go before he even thinks about cracking this 53. I mean, realistically, best case scenario for David Moa is probably practice squad, and that might even be a stretch at this point, but we'll see. Stranger things have happened. We have kept undrafted free agents at defensive tackle, so I'm not writing him off one damn bit. And the fact that he goes by the Moa Constructor, he's already got a fan in me, and he joins other Boise State guys from the last 2 years, Alexander Madison, Ezra Cleveland, so at least he's got some pals on the squad. So David Moa, I look forward to seeing what he brings to the table. And, for defensive tackle, after our top tier there with Pierce, Jalen Holmes, Armand Watts, Shamar Stephen, there is room for battles there. I mean, I don't think Hercules Mataafa, Jalen Holmes, Jaleel Johnson, I don't think all these guys have locked spots. So you come in, rip shit up, and next thing you know, he's on the team. But like I said, practice squad style.